fucking zombie movies, a lot of you people don't realize they can't just make movies where you just shoot up a bunch of niggas and blow their heads off. So they make these zombie movies. Why do you think all this zombie shit is so popular? These zombies represent black people. They love to see you with your goddamn head blown off. Like I say, they can't just make a movie where you shoot up a bunch of black people. So they gotta substitute zombies in the place of niggers.
According to tradition, slaves who practiced voodoo created zombies.
They used to use it in time of slavery. If I'm plotting against the master, and one of the slaves, which is my brothers and sister or my family member, is gonna sell me out, we're not gonna kill a member of the family. We're just gonna make it appear that you are dead and take care of you in the back room where they will never see you again. But you still exist, you're still living, we're still feeding you.
In voodoo, we do not believe in hurting people for no reason whatsoever. Zombification is a way to keep certain people from getting out of hand. But then it's one little side of voodoo.
I wish that it is true that for me just to snap my finger and turn somebody into a zombie. But unfortunately, it is not done that way. You have to have knowledge and you have to know how to do it.
Not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this is a response, this is kind of like a response to Kevin Smith's video, Racist Nobodies. He mentioned something in there about black people as like zombies to, you got all these zombie movies, you know, black people are supposed to represent the zombies and they're killing off all these zombies or whatever. And it was interesting that he brought that up, you know, so I'm going to spit a little bit of knowledge here. I know this might be one of my videos that only get 19 views, but who cares? This is one of my videos for my 25 real subscribers, but if we go into the history of zombie, you know, zombies or whatever, yeah, it comes from Africa. You know, it comes from voodoo, which voodoo derives from Africa, not Haiti, what people think, because the Haitians are into voodoo or participate in voodooism. It really comes from Africa. And, you know, the thing is with the zombies, the whole concept of zombies come from black people. And there's two ways you can look at the whole zombification. One, if a person pisses off his tribe, you know what I'm saying? If his tribe or disgruntled with him because he broke one of the tribal laws, you know, they'll sometimes from a ritual and put a certain powder on his body. I don't know the schematic for the name of this powder. I almost put him in a state of comatose where he looks like he's the walking dead. You know, it's like he's oblivious with the world around him because the tribe is punishing him. You know, he has this white powder on him and it's like, oh, you know, like a mummy or something like that. You know, and I can see some of the white people witnessing this event, you know, how they take on it. And then you have in some parts, some people believe that the voodoo priest can actually raise the dead, a fresh dead person, somebody who just recently died. They can actually raise them from the dead. You know, sometimes maybe they'll say they'll raise them from the dead for a certain period of time or all the way. So that's an interesting tidbit. And also in slavery, a lot of times, you know, voodoo priest will zombify somebody to make it seem like he's dead if they're trying to sell this person or whatever, and to make it seem like, yeah, he's dead or he's in comatose, there's something wrong with him, so they won't sell him. So, you know, when white people, you know, when they got a hold of this knowledge, I guess, and saw what's going on here with the zombies, you know, they went crazy with it, you know, and witch doctors, and like, oh, they're raising the dead, the zombies. And when we see these zombie movies, it's like it's their own like manifestation of it, their version of it. You know, an actual zombie walking around and wanting to eat people that was risen from the dead from from unknown circumstances. I don't know. I guess each time, you know, Hollywood makes a zombie movie, they need to pay black people. I'm just kidding on that. But serious, the whole zombie thing comes from black people. And also, when you look at the white man's form of zombies, Hollywood's version of zombies, you know, their zombies eat people. You know, they eat flesh. You don't see a zombie movie with dudes go inside a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a Chinese buffet and just scarf out. You know, they eat flesh. And what's one thing that white people say about us black people? Oh, especially in Africa, they say we're cannibals. Matter of fact, I got a video about that, you know, that nobody watched, you know, just dropping a little bit of science, just like I'm doing here. But, you know, zombies are cannibals, you know, so it's almost like it's white people's, like, you know, perverted version of zombies, and the whole bringing back the dead and the Walking Dead thing that derives from Africa, derives from voodoo. And it seemed like an actual dead person falling to pieces and wanting to eat somebody, like they feel that, you know, and what black people did in Africa, we ate. You know, one thing about the whole cannibalism thing in Africa, whatever, if there was really cannibalistic tribes, as I said in a previous video, there's no way white people could domesticate us. There's no way they could enslave us. We'll be eating them. You know what I'm saying? A cannibal is just too vicious, especially if people have a custom of cannibalism throughout the years. You know, eating human flesh does something to your brain. It does something to you. You can't function like a normal human being if you was eating people for years and years and years, and you come from a family of people that ate people. So even in these videos they talk about cannibalism, and they don't have no hardcore proof. They'll have a video talking about cannibalism in Africa, and they'll talk to somebody, and somebody say like, well, we'll eat the liver of our enemies, but you won't actually see it. As I said, if we had these tribes full of cannibals and it was brought to us as slaves, there's no way they'll teach them Christianity or teach them how to pick cotton properly, because them cannibals will be looking at the slave master like, you know what I'm saying? Wait till you go to bed tonight, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Cannibals are crazy, you know. But as I said, so I guess that, yeah, black people can be looked at as the zombies, you know, cannibals, Walking Dead, and white people must defend themselves against them. Also, let's go into the zombie movies. Now, zombie movies started getting their predominance in the late 60s and early 70s. You know, we saw a lot of those zombie movies. A lot of zombie movies we see today are like remakes and the rehashed version of the old zombie movies, like The Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. There were so many that came out during this era, hitting the drive-in theaters, you know, the slasher films and whatnot. And also during the late 60s and early 70s and the 70s, black culture was really dominating the mainstream. You know, disco music, you know, the black people slang, the black exploitation thing, the way black people dressed. We was really penetrating, getting into the suburban homes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like the first time black people was like considered cool and had our thing, because, you know, back in the 50s and early 60s, black people wanted to be like white people. We conked our hair and whatever, and we tried to, even though we always had our own slang and our own swagger, it's like, it was very similar to what white people was doing, except we was doing it better. But in the late 60s, early 70s, yeah, us black people, we was really doing, we had the Afrocentric movement going on, you know, the Black Power thing. So white people had these zombie movies like, okay, this is our answer to that, you know. And black people was gaining some kind of economic power, because black people back then in the 70s, we weren't killing each other like that. You know, if people say that, like, sure, there was drug dealers, there were pimps, but the black family was a whole lot better than now. So hence, the 80s comes, you know what I'm saying? Ronald Reagan, the war on drugs, you know, the FBI, the CIA pulling drugs into the black community, the FBI and also other secret agents that were working with the Crips and Bloods or whatever, wanted to make sure the Crips and Bloods kill each other. Hence, the U.S. government was very successful in thwarting the Black Panthers. And of course, thwarting the Black Panthers. And of course, the movement, you know what I'm saying, that was right along the Black Panthers. But then all of a sudden, oh, the government had, couldn't properly dismantle the Crips and the Bloods. I'm like, sure, they threw Crips and Blood members in jail. Also, people have to understand that Tookie Williams, yeah, he actually went to jail for killing some Korean people and a white person or something like that. He didn't really go to jail for, killing other black gangbangers. He killed like civilians that weren't part of the gang culture. I think they were like 2 Koreans and 1. I'm not sure, but it was something to do with Koreans or Asians he killed. But the FBI and whatever in these organizations couldn't get rid of the Crips and Bloods. I found that funny. So hence, in the 80s when black people was really self-destructing, going, and then it's almost like white America or whatever, the powers that be is like, look at black people now. They're killing each other. You know what I'm saying? They're in rat-infested ghettos, which we always were in the ghetto. It's like, then there's kind of like the zombie movies died out. There were still zombie movies, but they were like just B horror movies or whatever. But in fact, I think in the 80s, like Beetlejuice was the most popular zombie movie. And Beetlejuice wasn't even really a zombie flick, but I would say that Beetlejuice kind of represented a zombie or some kind of phantom or some kind of ghost. Matter of fact, you had the ghost movies coming in, the Ghostbusters. I don't know if Beetlejuice came out in the early 90s or the late 80s, one of those. And hence, zombie movies started making a comeback around when George Bush's second term was in office. A lot of that had to do with the xenophobe with white people, with the Arabs and Muslims, 2003, and when Barack Obama got into office, whoa, we had, now zombie movies are the rage. There's so many zombie movies coming out, and they're not just coming out on VHS, as I said, or just straight to DVD. These zombie movies are hitting theaters, you know what I'm saying? They're big budget movies now. You got the Walking Dead series, and you know what I'm saying, World War Z. I'm like, there's just so many damn Zombieland. What's the other one? The Crazies. Even though The Crazies wasn't exactly a zombie movie, there's people with a deformed mind going around eating and biting into other people's flesh. So Kevin hit it right on the spot when, let's say, white people got the idea of zombies from black people. That there's no doubt about that. And zombies being cannibals kind of representing black people, what they say about us in Africa, that we were cannibals. Which if we were, there's no way the white man would have been able to take us, really conquer us and take us in slavery, because we would have been eating the fuck out of him. You know what I'm saying? Cannibals are crazy. So yeah, I just want to break that down. And also another thing with voodoo, how white people got that all wrong and make voodoo seem so evil. Like when you put pins in a voodoo doll, you're actually sending that person a message. It doesn't mean you're trying to just put pins and hurt this person or whatever. You're sending them a message. And also, as much as black people want to reject voodooism and African tribal dances and become Christian, when you go into a lot of these black churches, I'm like, the way they catch the Holy Ghost and get tongues and dance around like that. Look at a voodoo ceremony and look at a black Baptist church, man. The similarities are there. Matter of fact, the only time, I'm not a religious person, the only time when I go to church is when I see when I'm with a female, you know what I'm saying? When I'm with a black woman. And the last time I was in church, this female I was with was she looked like she was possessed or something. She took her shoes off, she started lifting her dress up and dancing around so much, kicking her legs up in the air, people can see